Hello everybody and welcome back to more Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 with a feeling much better Corang15. When we last left off with this park, we had added a couple of rides, kind of just at the last second. Also, this mouse pad is not going to work. I need something else. But I doing things a little bit differently right now. Oops, shoot. I'm gonna let the game warm up a second because we have a massive ass park. I'm gonna let the game warm up a second. Okay. Yeah, we are. As you can see, we only need to get to 4,500 guests. And we can't let the park rating drop. We've done a great job of that. Pile Driver is incredibly popular. This makes me smile. Harry Planes is getting up there. Glowworm's popular. I'm happy for that. Gold Rush. Mystic Vultures is doing alright. Octavator's out the ass. You know, when I opened up this side of the park, everybody wanted to go on Lunar Launcher. Everybody was like going on Lunar Launcher. What's this, by the way? People like going on Icy Hairpinner. That makes me smile. Manic Miner, how are you doing? People like going on it. Frightmare has been just popular since... You know, I think I like working with Frightmare. I think Frightmare is a good coaster to have. Oh, that's right. We actually didn't even put in Multi-Diver, and I was even working on Multi-Diver when we last left off. That's totally my bad. That's a yikes. That's a big oof. I don't know if... This ride is more or less going to be popular. I just don't know like how to go about it. I mean, I can have it circle around. And then maybe we have a join here. And then this pathway just ends up here. Right? That makes sense. How many circuits does it do, too? Open Sesame. What was the nausea rating for this? 550. Circulator's 540. I don't see people getting sick on Circulator. Wherever the hell it is. There it is. Yeah, nobody really gets sick on Circulator. My updated version of To Where and Back Again. I actually did make a couple of coasters. Normally when I get angry, I will make roller coasters on this game to kind of like self-event. And I made... I made another corkscrew and I made something else. But I honestly forget what the other one was. It might have been... was it a looping coaster? No, that looks the same. I made something else. I screwed around with one of the coasters. And I actually just cannot remember right now what it was. But I made another corkscrew coaster called Wisteria Bloom. And this is a simple segmented coaster. It's not like, it's a 1010, it's a 470, it's a 710 for excitement, which made me smile. It's not that big. Like, I could put it up here. It's a nice coaster, though. Like, I kind of want to put it in. Because it's one thing to build a ride in the roller coaster designer, but it's another thing to have, like... Oh, I could even... Can I slap this sucker back here? It's another thing to have, like... oh, I need another food court back here, it looks like. Yeah, I don't really have one up in this area. It's one thing to have the roller coaster and the designer, but it's another thing to actually have people ride the coaster you have just built, and so on and so forth. So where does this line up in relation to? God, you know, this thing's a lot bigger than I thought. To be honest, that's a oof. I could slap it back here. I don't know. I need another food court up here, though. I just realized. I've got one right here, one right here, one right here. But as I've expanded out this way, I don't really have one around here. So I think I'm going to put one right over here. And maybe this can be the section of which I do it. I think it'll be fair. I think it'll be a fair section. Oh, geez. No, not like that. Yeah, this is gonna be definitely a fair, like, food court section. As far as, like, what's gonna go over here, like attractions and stuff, I have no idea. My ride is pretty big. I don't know if I wanna. We're probably gonna get to 4,500 in 2 years. I don't know if we're gonna get 500 people by the end of October of this year, but definitely next year. I can't remember what the other roller coaster was. Was it the Giga Coaster? No, it wasn't. God, you know, I really don't remember. And it makes me sad, because I think it was a roller coaster I had. Oh, you know what it was? It was the Splash Coaster. It was the water coaster. I made a separate ride for that. I thought it was unlocked on this, but apparently it's not. So there's that. But I would like to get Wisteria Bloom in this park. I kind of want it back there, just to create a nice little section. I kind of want it back here, to be honest. Because I really need to think about, am I going to come back to this park? Maybe. I really don't know if I'm gonna. I need to flatten out a lot of the land still, if I'm even thinking about it. But I'm also running out of rides to even put in the park. I only have, like, I understand I've got some roller coasters I can still put in and all that, but I might come back to this park, I might not. I'm not really too sure. Where was the corner for this? Right there? Okay, well, the least I could do is maybe, like, flatten out this section. Just to see, like, if I could fit Wisteria Bloom in here. And making, I can make different roller coasters of all of these. I should really challenge myself to, maybe I'll do that after everything is done. Maybe I'll do a coaster challenge thing where I'll try to make a coaster and it has to be a certain, like, everything or what, and you guys will get to listen to me be angry as I try to make something. Okay, we could stop that there. This kind of swung out a little bit more than I wanted, but that's fine. It's okay. It's not like that big of a deal. But yeah, I should do like a roller coaster challenge thing. Take each type of coaster and test it, make sure everything like looks good with it and such. And then hopefully because after I get Roller Coaster Tycoon done, I'm going to be moving into Half-Life, which I've had sitting, which I actually bought and downloaded when all the Valve games went on sale like a year and a half ago. And everything is on this laptop, and even my new one, should this one not want to perform. But I've been debating back and forth how on which like laptop I want to play these games on, and I feel like they would both play fine on them. But I think Half-Life 2 might play better on the new laptop, and that's the thing I'm kind of like stuck at right now. But because Counter-Strike plays on this okay, it doesn't play too bad on this. I actually did just run into a technical issue with this laptop. The battery that goes into this laptop. I don't think I ever got a new battery for this. I think I'd stuck with the battery that it came with when I won it on eBay about 2 years ago. It blew a fuse, so it will no longer charge. Or yeah, it won't charge correctly and or just function. So I'm actually current. What the fuck? You're stupid. That's 55 people. I've I've managed worse parks where it's higher and that I don't get complained about it. What? But yeah, the battery blew a fuse. So now this is running on corded power, AC power, which normally when I record videos, I normally run it on the cord anyway, because on online stuff and like stuff through Steam, that doesn't require a lot of draw as far as energy and or needing, to play or whatever. The battery doesn't drain that much. But on this game will drain out the battery within like 40 minutes of it after being on 100%. I've had that happen to me a couple of times where I was recording this game, or I even think on the first game, and I was recording and I thought I lost the game data because the laptop wasn't charging. Unbeknownst to me, the cord had fallen out behind it. But really, it goes into sleep mode and on reserve power, and then, as long as you're able to get the computer back going, then it's like, okay, well, everything is still good. I'm also getting a little worried about this laptop. It's been doing a screen thing for a little while, but it's gotten more and more like. It's gotten a lot more. Not violent. What's the word I'm looking for? It's gotten a lot more noticeable. Where the screen, if I like Windows D out of an application or a game and like go back to the desktop, you guys have seen it. It does that like sparkle, twinkle, glitchy thing with the screen. And it's been doing it a little bit more and more, and I'm almost afraid one of these days the screen is going to go out. And I'm kind of afraid of this because I really like this laptop. I bought this laptop for the sole purpose that it'll play older games via disc a lot better, and or just in general versus my new laptop. I really should probably I would really hate to have to get another laptop if this one does go out. I don't think it's going to go out, but I am a little worried. Also, it's not the end of the world if the screen goes out. I'm sure the screen can be fixed. I don't believe a laptop maker would be... I don't believe having the screen go out on a laptop is the end of the world. But, I don't know. I know that on certain TVs and just universal monitors, that if the screen does lose one of its things, like the backlight. I think the backlight on an older TV of my sister's and I's in the bedroom went out a couple years ago. Or actually, no, it's been like 3 or 4. Now, the backlight went out, so that now the screen was really dim, and you actually couldn't do anything about it. So we actually ended up having to get a new TV. Which kind of sucked because, it was obviously... it puts a lot of strain on my dad since he's the only one working at the moment. I'm trying to find work, and I just have not been catching a break. But my dad was like... it was funny because when the TV went out, I thought my dad would be really mad at my sister or I for blowing it out. And, he was annoyed, but it wasn't, like, too bad. He actually managed to get us a new TV, like, within a day or two later. It was ironic in the fact that when our TV went out, there was an appliance store. I forget which one. It wasn't Best Buy. It was like, I think it was Fry's. The Fry's Electronics. They were having some closeout and clearance TVs, and he got us one, and that's the one we currently have right now. That's the TV that, if you guys don't remember, I think I used to record my videos off of back when I was doing the 3DS recordings. And, I didn't like recording on that TV because for some whatever reason the video on the iPhone does not like recording off that screen. That screen, it doesn't tile or anything. It's just, it gives off the rainbow effect. Like sometimes if you point a camera at a TV, to you it's fine, but through the lens of another camera, it kind of looks rainbowy, like maybe slightly smeared, and all that. And that's what this TV does. And I don't really. It's not that I like don't like if I have to record off the TV, I'll have to. There's no way around it. But I just know that the video, when it gets uploaded, it's going to be noticeable on the fact that that everybody will notice the rainbow coloring. And there's nothing I could do. I tried working with the screen settings. I tried screwing things up with the remote, like, and through the actual TV base settings itself, and I can't do it. So it's just, it is what it is. I can't, change it. So yeah, just going back to the screen on this laptop, I'm afraid of it going out soon, but I don't think it's necessarily the end of the world if it does go out. I still have a lot of games to record on this thing, so I really need it to last for a good while. And such. Speaking of lasting a while, we're already at 4,200 people, and it's not even June. It's not even like one. I could get this done in year 9. Like, I honestly think I might be able to be done with this park. Now would come the question of, I wanted to spend 2 hours on this. I do need to record other games, and such. But I almost kind of want to seep into the next map on this, just to maybe not necessarily see like how the next park is. I don't like to spend 1 year on a new park. I don't like it. Like, if I'm doing one follow-up year, oh, shut up, that's about breaking even. I guess when it gets to 50, you get that notification. That's just my thoughts about it. But I don't necessarily like starting a new map and then, like, being like, hey, year 1 is over, now it's like, oh, now I'm done recording for the session. I don't like that. I like to at least spend 2 years to get my feet wet on a park. And I think all of these expert parks, I don't think they're all timed. So I could probably screw around on the next park, which I actually don't even remember what it was after this. I don't even know if it was difficult either. I just know that after I get this park done, we will have the next park and then 2 parks after that to be done with at least the main game. But if you guys remember, I still have to go back and do the other parks. Now, I don't know if I want to... I don't know if I want to separate this game with the Wacky Worlds DLC, or just keep this game on. You just keep this game as a whole. I feel like, I don't know. I've been debating back and forth on it with myself lately. Now, obviously, I have all the time in the world to really still think about it, but now it's like, now I'm just kind of in a position of where, like, if I wanted to actually do it, because it's like part of me is like, oh, you should, like, you should, like, maybe maybe not even diverse. I want to keep it all together, is what I'm trying to say. I want to keep it all together as one, like, playthrough. But Wacky Worlds is like a different, like, thing. So I don't know. Like, this whole time I've just been debating on it back and forth. I don't know if I am gonna. I'm leaning towards that I will. Only on the aspect of that. Only in the aspect of that it is an entirely different game set, and we do get new maps. But this is also going to force my hand into buying Time Twister, which is the other DLC for Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. And I don't necessarily have a problem in buying it. It's just now going to be like, okay, now after I get done with Wacky Worlds, now I got to do this, and now it's going to be its own thing. And now it's just going to be, it's not going to be Corang15 plays Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 for like 100 episodes plus. It's going to be Corang plays Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, and then it's going to be basically they're going to be their own separate like thing. Like, I'm not going to have all these videos run together. They're going to be like their own thing. And I you know, there's a little bit of like what's the word? Difficulty in doing something like that, only because if you mess, the way I've been doing it, if I mess up on a park, I gotta go back and redo it, and then like after I get done with Wacky Worlds, and then I gotta do Time Twister, then it becomes the same thing, where I gotta create another off-branch thing, even though it's pretty much the same game. If you guys are getting what I'm saying. And like I said, it's not that I don't mind it. I really don't. I don't mind it. It's just makes things that seem a little odd. If that's the like proper term and such that I'm looking for. But other than that, after I get done with obviously, you know, and there. Oh, you know what? I need to follow that up with. Do I take a break after? Do I take a break after this game and focus on other games versus? Versus me continuing the same game all over and such. And you know, part of me is like, maybe? I'm not really sure. It's just odd. Like, it's odd for me because Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 takes up a lot of data. Like, it's a lot of storage data, a lot of info data and all that stuff. And, you know, I gotta move stuff around with the files. I gotta be like, you know, I gotta move this over, I gotta move that over, and it's all like that. And, and it could take up a little bit of time. I remember on Roller Coaster Tycoon 1, I actually ran into an issue with recording so much of the game and then finding enough space on my hard drives and my SD cards to store it all somewhere. And if I decide to run Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 and play it all the way through despite the DLCs, I feel like I'm going to run into that same issue. Whereas if I treat the game and the DLCs as its own separate thing, the one pro I have with doing that is that I don't have to worry about overstocking on the, not overstocking per se, but like, I get to manage my data better, and if after the regular Roller Coaster Tycoon, I need to take a break from this just to free up some data and get some other games going, then that allows me to, and I'm not pressuring myself into actually playing the game all the way through, and then like being stressed out about, you know, which data is what. I probably would get less confused over, like, which videos are what, as far as, like, you know, is this regular RCT footage, or is this Wacky Worlds footage? So, what's probably going to end up happening is I'm probably going to play this all the way through, and then I'll probably take a break from this game and play other games. And when the footage starts dying out on Roller Coaster Tycoon, just the default, then maybe that's when I'll start recording Wacky Worlds. And then just kind of repeat the same process. And I'll do that with Time Twister too. So that way there's a little bit of like balance into what I'm doing and how I'm managing things. Also, with freeing up storage as I go along, this will allow me to record other stuff and maybe like make a bigger backlog for stuff I have in the future. Like I have stuff. So after Hot Wheels is done, I'm gonna have Dukes of Hazzard to do, and I have stuff in line for what's gonna happen after Dukes of Hazzard, which probably won't even happen till like April, and I think we're like 3/4. Yeah, we're like on our last week of February, so I have an extensive memory log of what's gonna be in these sections and like what's gonna be going on and such. The only other difficult I will follow up. Sorry, I just had to check something on my laptop. The only other thing that I might find a little bit of difficulty with is readjusting to the Roller Coaster Tycoon game after playing some of the other games in between this one and that one. Once I start playing a game, I like to keep playing it to keep myself in the mood. I've deleted some older Let's Plays on my channel that I never finished because I felt like it's been too long since I got back to them. And I'm probably going to do that with Yoshi's Story. I recorded Yoshi's Story a lot back, like last year, or like a year and a half ago. And I really have never gotten back to the game. And now I feel like I'm going to be out of practice. I'm not going to know what I'm doing. So I might delete all the videos and just restart the series from scratch. And this time just be more attentive to it and play it all the way through and be more tolerable, as it were.